Good afternoon, everybody. Fergus Dolan here from NALA, the National Adult Literacy Agency. We're delighted to have you here today for our second ESOL webinar of the week. Today's webinar is looking at the pros and cons of AI in the ESOL classroom. And we're delighted to have two facilitators. Anne McSorley is with the Belfast Unemployed Resource Centre. Hi, Anne.
Hi, everyone.
And Claudia Belloni is with Tipperary ETB. Hi, Claudia.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
And then my colleague Noelle O'Kane is just going to help me with admin and etc. Hi, Noelle.
Hello, everyone.
So I'm going to hand you over to Claudia. She's going to start. And oh, yeah, they're going to say it, but I'm going to say it too. Please, at any stage, put your questions into the chat box, type them in. And between slides, if I'll try and interrupt Claudia or Anne and ask them your questions. So don't be shy, engage fully. We want your questions. We want this to be interactive. Okay, Claudia, over to you and good luck.
Hi, thank you. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. It's lovely to see you here, to read some familiar names and see some familiar faces. I need to add that I also work for the Belfast Unemployed Research Centre. I suppose to break the ice, maybe with the use of the chat, we might do, while I do the technical thing of sharing the screen, we might do the webinar thing of asking people to put in the chat maybe where they're based and what level they're teaching, just on the assumption that you're all ESOL teachers. I'm gonna give you like just a few seconds to do that while I get the screen sharing going.
Okay.
I actually cannot see the chat, so once
Okay, I can see.
I want to disconnect it. I want to comparing. Yes, bear with this.
So we've got Jenny Waters from Belfast Met, so not too far from me, and Angelica, is that right? Angelica in Belfast Met as well. We've got Linford in Ballyhonus. Sorry, I'm just the chat's moving here on me. So Linford teaches levels 1 to 3, ESOL, and Julie and Heather from Burke as well, and Arthur, and Ingrid from WW. Is that Wicklow? ETB?
Wexford and
sorry, Wexford and Waterford. Sorry,
Wexford.
I was thinking of the number plate. ETB, ESOL level 2 and 3. Bernadette in Dublin City Further Education, ESOL Literacy.
I see Nagham was on Cusson in Dublin.
Yes, in Tala, and Sean from Tipperary ETB, and Michael from Tipperary ETB, level 1 and 2. Okay, so we have a mixture of levels and
brilliant, and north and south, which is
north
great.
and south, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Everybody's very welcome. So we are here today to sort of have a conversation, hopefully, with you about the pros and cons of the use of AI in the classroom. So that's kind of just a little bit about ourselves. I'm an ESOL tutor with Tipperary TB, and I also coordinate the ESOL program at Burke. We teach online classes and face-to-face classes through volunteer tutors. And if you want to say very quickly.
Yeah, I started doing some teaching with Burke during the pandemic, which was all online. And then since that, we have done some face-to-face courses as well. But we have still got a lot of online. And I also do some work for a language school online with Japanese people, and also some work for the British Council as well.
Great, thank you. So what we want to chat about today is, again, the pros and cons of the use of some AI tools in the ESOL classroom. I'm going to touch very briefly on the use of Teams that we do within Tipperary TB. And then we're going to focus specifically on 2 AI tools, Gemini Storybook and EdCafe, namely. And then hopefully together we're going to just reflect on how we can integrate, if we want to integrate these AI tools in our classroom, or if any of you have already done so, what your experience was. So starting from the good things, some advantages that we have found by using some AI tools is the possibility of personalizing the material that you can produce using them. So making it sort of specific both to the context and the sort of the lived experience of our learners. It can also be adapted to the learner's needs, to their spiky profiles even, and to the pace that we need to sort of go at during the class. In terms of learners' use, and I don't know if that's something that some of you have tried, sort of encouraging the learners to use AI directly. They can definitely be encouraged to use it for speaking practice or writing practice and have an immediate feedback, which is one of the great advantages, obviously. Another pro is that obviously AI is always available, so if learners can or want to practice at sort of odd hours, they can do that as well. It gives us as practitioners access to not only sort of personalize the creation of personalized material, but we can create different kinds of material. We'll see it later with the 2 tools that we're going to focus on, but we can create quizzes, we can create texts, and then different exercises maybe based on those texts. So it does, in a relatively short time, it does allow us to lesson plan quite effectively. It also allows the learners, again, to maybe practice on sort of some cultural aspects of their context, or maybe real world lingo that they mightn't feel confident to ask about maybe in class or just sort of in their environment. So I'm just going to move on to some of the cons of the use of AI. Now, we might have to. It can be a very time consuming at times as well, especially at the very beginning if we don't know the tool very well for the teachers, for the tutors. As the prompts have to be quite specific and quite well engineered for the tool to produce what we want it to produce. Otherwise, we might have something with material that is too high level for the learners, and we obviously then the tool can readapt it and grade it down or up to the level that we need. But that's obviously time consuming for us. It might make the learners, again, if we encourage them to use the tools, too reliant on them. So once we introduce AI in the classroom directly for the direct use of the learners, it's really important to explain that it's an aid, it's a tool, something to be used to complement the learning, but not to rely on completely, obviously. Sort of to do their homework or to solve exercises. It does produce as well at times inaccurate or downright wrong material or answers. So everything that's produced by AI needs to be double checked. It can also be biased because obviously, like especially the tools that we are looking at, they are produced in the global north and they are very sort of Western centric. So there are some biases there that we need to be mindful of in the production of material and answers. Digital literacy, digital access and literacy might also be an issue for some learners. Not all the learners have maybe access to enough data to power the use of AI, and not all of them might know how to use the tools. So it's very important if we introduce them into the classroom to do so in person. So, and that will also allow us to set boundaries and just establish what we want, what we encourage the learners to use AI for. Okay, so I'm just gonna move on to so in terms of the use of sort of a very common tool, we presented on this topic a couple of weeks ago in person at the NALA conference, and so it was obviously an in-person workshop. And whenever I mentioned Teams, I assumed wrongly that colleagues sort of throughout other ETBs are making the same use of Teams that we are in Tipperary ETB. I thought it was a tool that was used extensively by everyone, but I found out actually, to my surprise, that it wasn't like that. So I'm not assuming that everybody uses Teams. I'm kind of assuming that everybody has access to Office 365 as an ETB tutor. Obviously, we don't only have ETB tutors with us, but in terms of the use of Teams, what it does is it's a tool that allows us to create different channels, so different sort of classrooms. And the way we use it is we have different libraries of material in each channel. So each channel is labeled with the course. For example, QQI level 1, reading and writing, which is now not being taught anymore, or ESOL QQI ESOL level 1, listening and speaking. And the material and resources that can be used for that level are stored in there. It's great, obviously, because it's free to us, and it's also free to the learners. Every Tipperary ETB learner has access to an Office 365 account and a Teams account. It's not the most user-friendly or intuitive tool, I found, and sometimes because it's so vast and because it allows us to store so much material, it might be even more time consuming to go and look through the wealth of folders that are stored in there, rather than create material maybe with ChatGPT quite quickly. One of the pros is that it allows us to keep in touch with the learners in terms of, for example, if somebody can't come to class or they're late to class, the chat facility within Teams allows them to communicate with us. And it's obviously GDPR friendly because nobody has to share their personal details if they don't want to, and obviously we're not encouraged to. Not everybody knows how to use it, and it's not the easiest tool to explain. I was never trained on it, so I know I'm mindful of the fact that I'm not using it to its full potential. It could be used to assign homework and then check homework. We don't use it like that, but it's a good way to maybe share materials with the learners in between classes, or publish links to, I don't know, Quizlets or word wall games or exercises. So it's a good tool that way. Again, mindful of the fact that what we can see on a laptop in Teams is not what the learners can see on their phone. And 99% of our learners access Teams on their phones. So some of the facilities that are available to us are not available to them. And that's, again, time consuming to see, to compare them and to see what the learners can use. So I don't know if you use Teams, and if you find it useful or not useful, or if it's something that you would like to experiment a bit more. If you want to put it in the chat, and maybe that's something we can pick up on later. So now moving on to the actual tools, we are going to, we have a few logos on this slide, but we're going to focus specifically on two tools that we have been using. Sorry, it's me talking again. It's a lot of talking from me, but I'll stop shortly. I'm going to focus on Gemini Storybook for the moment, and then Anne is going to chat with you about Ed Cafe. So may I just ask maybe if anybody has heard of or has been using Gemini Storybook, if you want to put maybe your answer in the chat. If somebody can, I can actually open the chat here, I think. No, good.
Sorry, is he? No, it seems to be all no's. So
Okay.
it's new to most people then.
Brilliant. Okay, so no pressure there. So can I hold on a second? See if I can. Yeah. So what is it? It's a Google AI tool that you can access it through a Gmail account. So again, it's free, as you know, as everything online is free. It's a free tool to create illustrated readers. So what it does, it allows us to create sort of online books, basically, of the length that we choose. Once we prompt exactly what we want the book to be about and what language we want the book, the reader to have. It also allows us to illustrate the book based on our prompts. So for example, in terms of using it in the classroom, you can create for reading practice, or maybe comprehension practice, or even listening, and I'll explain in a second, or writing practice. You can create material based on whatever language point or grammar point or activity you have been doing in class. For example, if you want to create a story based on hobbies and free time activities, you might gather information from your learners, what they like to do in their free times, and then create a story about, just for example, Natalia, a Ukrainian woman living in Roskray, who works in a bakery and has 3 children and likes going to the playground with her children in her free time. She also likes playing guitar. And again, you can input all the information that you have been collecting in class to make the story relevant to your learners, and sort of context relevant as well. And then you can also say illustrate it, and Natalia has brown eyes, or she's from Ukraine, or she's from the south of Europe, or whatever you need. Just be mindful of the fact that if you don't provide any information, my experience with the pictures is you end up with shiny young people in very luxurious environments. So just be very specific about, I don't know, if Natalia is a real woman. My prompt is usually Natalia is a middle-aged woman living in. So then I'll let you see what Google produces once you put in that. But so you have then the option to choose a level, to choose your target reader, to choose the length of your story, so how many words and how many words you want per page. The reader is also then, there's a facility for the book to be listened to, so your learners can read and listen to the book at the same time. Now, the caveat there is that the pace of at how the book is read is quite quick, and it's an American accent, so you can choose whether it's a male or female voice that you want to read, but you can't, as of now, you can't really slow down the voice. So that's something again to be mindful of. And also another sort of limit at the moment, but I'm sure it's something that's probably going to be worked on. Once the reader is produced, you can't edit it. So if there's anything that you don't like or that you need to change, you have to prompt Gemini again, and it will produce a different reader. So just to give you an example, this is the, I needed a short story on to practice daily routines and telling the time and reading the time. So my prompt is all in the simple present, which then Gemini will keep and reproduce. So I asked for it to produce a story about Ivan, who lives in Roscrea, works in a meat processing plant, as 90% of the learners that I work with would, and that's his routine. And again, I sort of mixed the sort of the daily routine of all my learners here. And then obviously he goes to English class, and I asked so I added in my prompt how long I wanted the reader to be, how many words per page, and the level of my learners. And just as an example, if you're not connecting via your phones, and if you can scan this QR code, I'm just going to leave you a couple of minutes to sort of to scan the QR code, so you can have a look at the at what it produced, sort of at Ivan's story that came out from that prompt. And just at the very top of the screen, you would have a listen or listening symbol. So if you click on that, then you can listen to your to the story as well. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or any comments. Okay.
Yes, somebody, and Helkia is saying the pictures are not available.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in it. It's just saying Gemini couldn't generate an image.
Okay.
Um,
I'm sorry about that, because I checked it earlier and the pictures were working for me. So I'm really sorry about that. But usually you would have pictures, I promise.
and Adam has said some interesting mispronunciation. Oh, he must be doing listening
Yeah, the
to
listening.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't do Irish names for sure.
How is
Gemini
it on Italian
doesn't speak
names?
Irish. It's not great, let's just say. Okay. And I might hand it over to you if there are
Yes.
any further.
Jenny says very motivating for people who don't like reading. That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is what I found is that that's mostly the case. Most of the learners that I would work with here, whenever we ask, and how do you practice your English and do you like reading? Nobody likes reading. I think I just have in mind the face of the only learner in the past 6 years who said, yes, I love books. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll just hand it over to you, Anne. I'm mindful of time. I think Ed Cafe is too good to be rushed through.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So we're also looking at an app where you can use it as an app on your phone, or you can use it on your desktop as well. It works equally well. So it's called Ed Cafe, or if you're looking it up, it's called Ed Cafe AI. So, sorry, Claudia, could you go? Okay, so again, like Storybook, you can use it for customization of your lesson. It can be like a digital practice hub, because it gives you, it has the option of stories, but it also has other options as well, which you'll see shortly. You can also track progress with it. and you can use it for blended learning. So, for example, you want people to do some work on their own, asynchronous work, so you can use it for that. And again, like Storybook, you can use it for cultural and language integration as well. And for the learners, again, because if they're using it as an asynchronous tool, it can be self-paced, so they can do it in their own time. It's mobile friendly, so it's very good at adapting whatever you've put in to fit a mobile screen, so everything looks pretty much the same on the laptop or on a mobile. You've got audio and visual aids built in as well, and it's got a practical English focus, and it has a community feel, as in people can share their ideas through it as well. Thanks, Claudia. Okay, so this is what the initial page looks like if you go into it. So this is your choice of all the things it can do. So you can use it for planning your lessons by creating a slide deck, which is American English for slides or PowerPoint or whatever. They always talk about a deck. Creating your own teaching resources, or to even do things like lesson plans as well. And then for the main thing people would use it for, the learning materials or teaching materials. So you've got a chat bot, which I will show you in a little while. And that's very useful for the learners for practicing. You can create flashcards. You can create images. So you would put in a prompt for a very specific image you want maybe to discuss in class. It's got speech as well. And I'll show you one difference with the speech part of it compared to Storybook is that you can change the accent. It gives you a choice. Unfortunately, there's no Irish accents on it, but you have a choice of a few different accents. You also get summary notes, and you can create reading materials. So again, I will show you how to do that shortly. And then for assessment, you can use it to create a quiz. You could plug in a YouTube quiz. If there's a particular YouTube video that you like, you can plug it in and it will create a quiz for you. And you can also use it to help you grade the assignments or assessments. Okay. So yes, we have been using it or we've looked at using reading activities, YouTube quizzes, and chatbots. So this is an example I did, again, for when we were doing the live conference a couple of weeks ago. So when you go into the initial page, so you just press the Create New button. And I had selected, then I clicked on create a reading activity. Okay. So the first thing I put in there was a topic. Create a reading activity that helps lower intermediate ESOL students practice past tense by reading a story about going to the dentist. Okay. I could also include there, if you see beside topic, you've got text, vocabulary, web page. I could also, for example, put in vocabulary. If I said, right, please include the following 5 words, you can do that if you want your students to practice particular vocabulary. Then if you see below that, additional instructions, which are optional, but I just put in set the story in Ireland because I wanted it to have an Irish context. And also student level is optional. And I had asked them for CEFR, lower intermediate level. So it seems to recognize CEFR. You can use either the description or the number as well. Okay, so this is just a snippet of what it created for me. So you can see it's a story. The dentist cleaned the person going to the dentist is called Aoife, Dr. Murphy. So they've put in a few Irish touches to it. And yes, so yeah, this is a little bit cheesy there at the end, the beautiful Irish countryside. Then as you see it underneath that, so when it produces the text, you can see the green save button on the top right. So you can save that. Or at this stage underneath, you can have add vocabulary if you want it to include certain words that you're practicing. You can also add a quiz and you can add audio to it. So I clicked on add audio this time, and then it asked me to choose a voice and generate the audio. So you can see you have a choice. Yes, United States and UK and Australia, female and male. So I clicked on Australia just to get a bit of a different accent. You can see underneath the pro version, multilingual. So they would probably give you other options, but I'm just using the free version for this because the free version does quite a lot. And then you click on the green button at the bottom, generate audio. Okay. And then if you want to share this with your students, you click on assign on the left. Okay. And it gives you, then this comes up automatically. It gives you the options. How do you want to assign this? And you can copy a link to send, or you can give the QR code, for example, that's on the screen. You can do it as an embedded link. You can put it in Google Classroom or in Microsoft Teams if you're using that. So if you want to take 2 minutes and scan that QR code, it was working yesterday, so hopefully it
Working
still
perfectly,
is.
yeah.
It okay? It might ask you to sign in. I'm not sure if you haven't used Ed Cafe before, whether it will ask you to sign in. So is everybody able to get into that okay?
Yeah, looks brilliant. Yes.
Yeah,
This is
good.
great
Okay.
indeed.
So as you can see, then it comes up the reading activity, just a little summary. Then you've got the full reading passage. You've got a little audio button that you can press to listen, and hopefully you can hear the person with the Australian accent. And then if you scan to the bottom, it has picked out relevant vocabulary words from it as well. I think I had clicked on that as well as asking it for audio. So it gives an explanation of the vocabulary. And then if you want to do the quiz, it's more interactive. So you put in your name and click on play the quiz as well. So if anyone wants to try that, just put your name in and press play. So when I do that immediately, it comes up with multiple choice questions for me.
And does the quiz then go back to you as the tutor?
Yes, you can. You see on the screen where you've got status accepting responses. If that's switched on, then you can see the responses. Whoever's controlling the Ed Cafe can see responses if they are your students. Sorry, oh, it's Heather. Can the pace be changed? Do you mean with the audio, Heather? I don't think in the free version you can. Possibly in the pro you might be able to slow it down, but it wasn't in the free version. No, I don't think so.
Adam is saying yes. Does that wonder is he answering that?
I think that's maybe when I asked if it's working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I haven't.
Denise says you can. I think she's experimenting.
Oh, in the free one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I assumed that was a pro feature. Sorry. Okay, great. Well, that's even better. So yeah, as you can see, it's similar to story, but it's more, I suppose it's got a bit more bells and whistles, things that you can do with it. Sorry, Claudia, could you go on to the next one there? Okay, so then if you remember at the start, it also says you can create a chatbot. Okay. So again, you put in a prompt, and I just put in a very basic prompt. I want the chatbot to help lower intermediate students practice the situation around going to the dentist in Ireland. So this is just to give them further practice. Click on the green button, create chatbot. And then they come up with one for you. And again, if to share that with your learners, you click on assign, the green button, assign, and then you can share it with, I think probably the next page has got the, yes, again, the same as the reading. It gives you a choice of how you want to share it or assign it. You can use the QR code, you can use a link copy, you can embed it to Google Classroom or Teams. So if you want to try and scan that QR code, so again, this is more interactive for the learner. So this is more something you would give them to do maybe as homework. So they can kind of choose what they want to learn from the chat box. Okay, so it is giving some prompts when I go into that. For example, do they just want to learn useful words or phrases, or read a dialogue, or practice a role play conversation? So it's interacts then with the student. You also have the audio button there coming up as well. So what you do at this stage as the student is you type in, what do you want to do with the chatbot? You could say, can I practice a role play conversation on going to the dentist, for example? So again, I'll give you 2 minutes to try that out. Is everybody able to get into it okay? Thanks, Brenda. Good. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Angelica. Yeah, it is. It's great. Great extra practice for learners. They can do so much with this.
It's great that they can talk to it.
Yes, yeah. So practicing real conversation is, and it's free as well. You know, this, the free version is great. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. So Claudia, do you want to? Yes, sorry, Adam, you mentioned about ChatGPT for role plays. Yes, we at the live conference we talked about ChatGPT as well. And yes, certainly you can do that too. I suppose it's maybe Ed Cafe is maybe a little more controllable, maybe because ChatGPT can go off on a lot of tangents. But it's also an excellent practice tool for students to practice conversation as well. Okay, so as you can see, you can use it for vocabulary and grammar practice for your learners. You could set a task like job interview practice, which is really useful for them. So they could practice, they can put in the very specific job they are, applying for, and they can practice the interview, vocabulary they need, and just how to answer the questions. And then for the teachers or tutors, you can use it for your own development as well. So for example, if you were interested in, for example, doing a Delta course or something like that, you could ask it information or what's useful to know about a Delta, or if you're actually doing the Delta and you want practice with certain things. So yeah, as teachers, we can use it as well for our own development too. Okay, so what we were going to ask you to do, well, sorry, Claudia, will we just do this
Yeah, we might just keep it.
on their own rather than putting in?
Yeah.
So rather than going into breakout rooms, which can be quite time consuming and technical, we can just ask you to look at the prompt on the screen. Okay, this is a very detailed prompt that Claudia has put in. So either use Storybook or EdCafe for this and put in this prompt, and then one comprehension, sorry, at the very bottom there, you're asking it to create an activity of your choice. Okay, so we can give you 5 minutes to try that out. So as I say, just pick one or the other, either Storybook or EdCafe. If you're trying to, oh, sorry, Claudia, you had a QR code, I think, for Storybook. I wasn't able to get an EdCafe QR code to get into the login page, but if you're going into it, if you put in EdCafe, all one word, and AI as well, if you're searching for it online, and that's the QR code for getting into Gemini Storybook.
The landing page.
Yes, the landing page for that. Yeah.
Sorry, just a question there. Does anybody need to go back? Need me to go back to the prompt? I know it was a bit long.
Yes, Heather's asking, can you go back to the prompt? Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to copy and paste it into the chat, but obviously being the person who's sharing the screen, I can't do that.
As a question from Fiona, she is listening but can't do it at the moment, hoping to do it later. Will you be sending the recording on? Yeah, I think Fergus is planning to do that.
They're gonna be uploaded on the YouTube channel, maybe.
Yeah, I'm recording this, so by tomorrow, this time tomorrow, it should be up on the Nala YouTube channel. Yesterday's ESOL webinar is up there already, and I'll send on Claudia and Anne's presentation to everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fergus.
Claudia, Heather's asking you to go back to prompt again.
I am.
Oh yeah, yes, it's on it there. Yeah.
Yeah. just to say, well, everybody's working, maybe half listening, but we, with Arthur's help, who's here as well today, we're kind of hoping to create a bit of a community of practice, with whoever of you is interested in developing sort of your knowledge of AI, or just kind of want to discuss a bit more how to use AI in the ESOL classroom. So we're going to then show you a bit of a work in progress that we can use as a platform to share ideas and material, hopefully, as well.
Yeah, great, Claudia and Arthur. If you want me to forward that information to ESOL practitioners, I can do that for you.
Thank you.
So how is everyone getting on, or do you need any more time with that?
I hope everybody's having fun experimenting.
So did anyone pick Ed Cafe?
Yeah,
Jenny, yes.
Brenda, can I ask, what did you try? Which one did you try? Oh, Ed Cafe. Good, great.
Sorry, yes. Well, I just asked about Ed Cafe first.
Yeah, no,
okay, yeah.
Lame for those who is using Ed Cafe. Is anybody experimenting with Storybook? Out of curiosity. Heather is also using Ed Cafe.
Jenny's going to do it next. Yes. Yeah, I mean, sometimes what we would do is try the same activity on more than one of the apps and see which comes up with the best ideas, or combine their ideas as well. ChatGPT also is a great one for combining with any of the other tools, because you can go in and ask ChatGPT to write you a really good prompt for using in one of the other apps, so that if you tell it the main things you want it to include, so you can certainly that's what we end up doing, is playing around with all of them and just seeing what comes up with the best outcome for what you need.
Yeah, also because, for example, Storybook doesn't really give you option to create activities or quizzes or follow-up sort of exercises. So it's good to then maybe use Storybook to create your e-reader, and then ChatGPT for further activities. Anna's saying, yeah, she can't experiment right now, but she will. So that's good.
Okay.
Did anybody find anything, that they think they are definitely going to use in the classroom, or it's not for you at all?
Like they're so engrossed in it.
Danny, great.
Oh, Michael, it didn't work. Oh dear. Okay.
Which one, Michael?
Do you want to unmute Michael and explain or not?
No pressure. Gemini didn't work. Okay. You couldn't log in, or it didn't create the book?
It just didn't create the book. I was trying to do it, but I'll definitely look at it again, and the other one to try and do it. It does sound very exciting and a good facility.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Would anybody else maybe like to share their impressions, or if you have any questions.
Feel free to unmute if you have any questions.
And can I just say one thing, which is that I used EdCafe and I had to split up the prompt between the two boxes because there was a 250 character limit or something like that. So I ended up putting some of the information into the additional information box.
Okay, right.
And
I
did
don't
that
know.
work out for you?
Yeah, it worked out perfectly. I just made sure to put the last part, the Write 150 story, that last part, which is actually like specifically the prompt, in the first box. And I put some of the general information about the activities into the additional, and it just worked fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, that actually should say write a 150 word story, probably.
You're all good. I'd say we got there.
I suppose you're not copying and pasting anyway, so
No, a bit of typing.
Mhm. Yes. So yes, Bernadette said there was a slight delay in creating the story in Gemini, but it worked then.
Yeah, it takes a lot. And sorry, that's actually one of the cons of AI that I should have started with, but I didn't, not to depress anybody. The environmental impact of AI tools is obviously significant. So every time that you create a storybook with Gemini, you are your environmental footprint actually definitely becomes bigger and bigger. So you can see it while it creates the book, like you can actually feel the impact you're having. So it's not super quick, but used sparingly. It's very good.
Yes, Brenda says it's good. It quickly generates the vocab that's relevant as well to the learner. So it picks out the most relevant words, which is very useful.
Okay. Would anybody else want to share their, just in, I'm kind of mindful of time, so it would be, yeah.
I think that there's nothing else in chat. Claudia, if you want to move on.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to mention the
Yes, well, if you want more, because we are by no means experts in this, if you want more help or guidance, there are lots of videos on YouTube. So for example, EdCafe have their own educational videos on lots of different ways of using it. And there's who we think of as like a guru of AI in education, Russell Stannard. He has a very useful website and lots of YouTube videos on all these different types of AI. He has tested them all, practiced with them all, and he has lots of webinars and videos on YouTube about them. Okay, so just check. Well, I suppose we have kind of done it as we've gone along. So what has worked well with using these tools? What challenges? As we've seen, there have been a couple of challenges that people have had today. Sorry, Angelica, not sure why, but most features in EdCafe are locked for me. They appear as a pro feature. Okay, I'm not sure, Angelica. Everything I used in my demonstration was in the free version. So I really don't know why that would be. Thank you, Heather. Thanks for coming. Okay, so again, I think we've asked people, would you use these tools? And most of you have said yes, or you want to experiment more with them probably before using them in a class situation. Also, we were interested to know, would you use them more if they were integrated into Microsoft Teams? If that's your main platform in the ETBs, especially if that's your main work platform, or if, for example, there were templates available that were in MS Teams, and you were able to go in and get a template and then just plug in the information that you need rather than going directly into the tools themselves. Does anybody think that would be useful to them?
Even to have sort of ready-made prompts.
Yeah. So ready-made prompt templates, or even just templates where you can paste in you know, we can have like a skeleton, or you could have a skeleton of certain
to your
things. Yeah. And then you put in your own particular circumstances that you want.
Yeah, so Jenny says yes, and also Linford, yes, and yeah, you're welcome, Bernadette. Sorry, I missed the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Linford. Yeah, we just wanted to get some feedback if people might be interested in that.
And then sort of, I suppose, to finish off, we're mindful of, you know, sort of maybe the fear around AI. It's obviously, you know, very useful, and it allows us to create material quickly, and that's more relevant to maybe what we have access to on books. But we're also mindful of the fact that some of us are a bit scared that, you know, AI could take over and just substitute the teacher as in the classroom. Personally, we think we are using it as, again, as what we have showed, sort of as an aid and something that can help us in, you know, just providing further support to the learners and to us. But we do understand the fear. We do share the concern as well. In terms of, you know, the classroom environment and the atmosphere, or the possibility of leaving your own house or your own workplace and going into a classroom, whether that's online or face to face, and interact with other people, other learners, and the teachers or the tutors. We don't think that's easily replaceable by AI. So human interaction, we believe that it's not very, again, easily replaceable. But again, you know, we just wondered if that's something that like after this presentation, if there's anything that you'd like to share, your thoughts on these.
I can just say I think that students would be keen to engage with the chat bots and things like that as a way to do extra practice at home. And getting students to do practice at home is difficult, as you said. They don't read and things like that. So I think that they might be more keen to do that, where they can engage with the bot in their own kind of safe space. So I think that's very encouraging.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Linford.
Sorry, this is just to leave you on a good note. This is and you see the QR code. It's a website that Arthur has created. So shout out to Arthur, who's been silent in the background there, but he's been instrumental. He's our Russell standard. So everything that we know about AI, Arthur usually is the one who brings it to our attention. So he created this website that is meant to be, again, a community of practice for the ones of you that are interested in sort of bringing the conversation forward on the use of AI and ESOL. So you will find some tools there, some prompts there, and we'd like to hear from you on it. So if you want to, have a look at it, and maybe you need to register through a Google form, so that anybody who's on the website is part of the community. And then again, if you have more, if you have any questions, sorry, yeah, those are some of the features. Yeah, this is the website that the email address that you can contact, and we'll be happy to chat further with you.
Okay, Claudia, and thanks very much. That was
Thank
great.
you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Really,
everyone.
really practical. Thanks for all your prep. You could see that you did really well prepped, and I thought you explained everything really well in plain English. For me, it's not great at AI, so people seem to be happy. You can see from the text that thank yous coming in and the well done. So thanks so much, Claudia and Anne. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And as I said, hopefully by tomorrow I'll have the recording of this up on the Nala YouTube channel, and I'll send everyone Claudia and Anne's presentation. And Arthur, at any stage, if you want to send me a link or an email to how people can join your ESOL community of practice, I'll send that out to ESOL contacts I have. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
We have another ESOL webinar tomorrow. It's about phonics-based teaching for ESOL and ESOL literacy learners. So if anyone's interested, that's on from 1 to 2 tomorrow. So thanks again, Anna, Claudia, and all the best, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.